Hi there, Scott Hamilton, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review for your ears. Going to be talking about the 2020 movie, The Gentleman. I tend to have a love-hate relationship with Guy Ritchie movies. Some I really like, some I go, oh. Some are too long, some needed to be edited. I like the original stuff, Snatch, Lock, Stock, Smoking Barrels. The first Sherlock Holmes was really good. The second one was not so good. He's done some that didn't hit so well. I thought Man from U.N.C.L.E. was pretty darn good, actually. Some of the other ones recently, not so much. Gentleman, I waited for a while. It's got a great cast. Short version of this, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a throwback to early Guy Ritchie movies. I don't think it's his best movie, but I thought it was his best one in a while. That's the short version. So one reason I put this off, when it came out, I was not using cannabis in any way, shape, or form. I had quit for whatever reasons. I was for several reasons, actually. And I had started dating, and everybody I dated had their card. This was in Florida. And so So anyway, I didn't want to watch a movie about the cannabis industry without being able to partake, if that makes any sense. And then one thing led to another. I've just been waiting for a great deal on the movie, to be honest with you, because it got enough good reviews. Yeah, I'll check this one out. So it was a Black Friday deal for $10. Why not? Give it a shot. The 4K got high marks for video and audio, Dolby Atmos and all that, and it deserves it. We'll get to that. Movie was made for $22 million. It grossed $115.2 million, so it's considered a big hit, but slightly missing the mark with the critics, a little bit. They thought it was a throwback, but not exactly a return to form. So if you don't know anything about the movie, the less you know about it, but I'll tell you this. It is that kind of criminal endeavor, underground type movie that he's good at. The dialogue crackles. It just happens to be about the cannabis industry. You've got Matthew McConaughey's character who has killed in the UK cannabis industry, and he wants to sell and retire. His sidekick is Charlie Hunnam. Other people in the movie are Henry Golding, Jeremy Strong, Hugh Grant, Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell's great in this movie. And so you basically have one guy that's got this great stake worth millions, hundreds of millions actually, and he's trying to sell it and everybody wants it, but they don't want to pay his price. It's a great role for Matthew McConaughey. It's kind of a return to form for him as well, because he gets to play that cool, suave, smarter than you, but he doesn't let you know that kind of thing. This is not really a spoiler because this is from the get-go, but the movie has this framing device where it's basically Hugh Grant telling the story to Charlie Hunnam's character. You don't know why in the beginning. He tells him, you can even make this into a movie. So there's a lot of movie within movie type jokes. Like maybe we're watching the script or maybe we're not. Maybe it's reality. That's what was really interesting about it. This framing device, I will tell you, 20 to 30 minutes in the movie, I absolutely hated. I'm like, if they're going to keep doing this the whole movie, I'm going to hate this movie. And by the end of the movie, I really liked it. So I would say have a little patience if it bothers you. So it's basically Hugh Grant telling a story. It opens with a scene with one of the main characters getting shot, or it appears that way. And later on in the movie, you find out and you see it from other points of view. If you like those kind of movies, I'm not going to spoil anything for you here, but it has those kinds of twists in it, and I like that. I like all of the characters. Not that they were all likable characters. I just like that it was nice to see these actors really going for it. I understand through some of the background I've watched on this and other Guy Ritchie movies that he does write a lot of the script, but he also allows them to ad-lib and they work on the lines while they're filming. And if they come up with something better, they use it right then. And there's some stuff that just rolls off their tongues that was just like, that sounds real. They must have just come up with that on the fly because it came out of their mouth and it was just, that doesn't sound like a scripted line. And some of it is just so well written, that couldn't have come out of somebody's mouth because it's that well written. But if you get a kick out of great dialogue in movies, you'll get a kick out of this movie. It's smarter than your average. It's interesting to watch a movie about the cannabis industry and gangsters in the cannabis industry, and it's not really a quote-unquote stoner movie. There's no real scenes of people hitting. I mean, there's a couple of people rolling joints and firing it up or whatever, but it's not a Cheech and Chong movie or a Harold and Kumar movie in any way, shape, or form. It's definitely a Guy Ritchie movie that just has that in the background. Matthew McConaughey has these farms all over England, and it's creative. It's interesting. It's like I said, not a perfect movie. I wanted to turn it off 30 minutes into it because I'm like, well, I like the subject matter, but I don't like this framing device of him telling the story and it kind of going through chapters. But there's a method to the madness and a means to the end, and it makes sense and it works. And all in all, I will revisit this movie. It's one I'd go back to easily. It was very funny, well acted. Matthew McConaughey's great. Charlie Hunnam is really great. Henry Golding, I just watched him in Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe movie. Completely different character here. Colin Farrell is fantastic, and Hugh Grant is really good. I'm glad it made money. There probably won't be a sequel. They kind of wrap everything up. It'd be interesting with the characters that survive for us to go forward with something as creative as this. And I would like to see Guy Ritchie do more of this, but we'll see. He's done everything from Disney movies to comedies to remaking properties like Sherlock Holmes and Man from U.N.C.L.E. It'll be interesting to see what Guy Ritchie does next, but The Gentleman, if you haven't seen it yet, it's streaming out there, and you can find the Blu-ray and the 4K really cheap these days for whatever reason, so check it out. As far as the 4K goes, it appears to be a native 4K transfer, so it looks fantastic. It's a Dolby Atmos mix, and there's not a lot of overhead stuff, but there's some scenes where they go to these underground farms and sprinklers fire off or something happens over the heads, and you can hear that in the overhead channels, so that's pretty cool. All in all, it's a great 4K. You can get it for $10 to $12 right now, so I highly recommend it if you collect these kind of things. Movie was originally released at the end of 2019, but came out in January of 2020. I would say it dodged the bullet of bad movies that are released in January. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it yet, check out The Gentleman. It's Guy Ritchie through and through. Had a blast with it. I'm Scott Hamilton. I'm ROCKFILE. Thanks for checking out another one of my podcast reviews. Podbean says we're over 400 of them, but about 35 of those are some of the interviews I put up when I first started podcasting. But yeah, so over 10,000 and over 10,000 downloads, over 400 podcasts up. More on the way. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and listening. You rock.